But we start with the cleanup from the debates continuing today, and nowhere is the problem bigger than in Pennsylvania, where voters now realize the Democrat running for Senate is cognitively impaired and politically incompetent, which is even worse. And it's not just the fact that John Fetterman could not put together a coherent sentence on Tuesday night. The biggest misstep came when he claimed he has always supported fracking, even though for years he has been recorded over and over again saying he opposes fracking and the use of fossil fuels and wants it all shut down. Now take a look at the critical moment from the debate.
You're saying tonight that you support fracking, that you've always supported fracking, but there is that 2018 interview that you said, quote, I don't support fracking at all. So how do you square the two?
I do support fracking, and I support fracking.
Wow. It's just hard to watch, isn't it? Now, remember that clip and look at this one from 2018. It's one where Fetterman actually explains why he doesn't support fracking. Here it is. Listen.
I don't support fracking. I think it's something that has to eventually go away, and I would like to see it, transition out.
It is amazing that Democrats are even running this guy. You can see the clear difference in his mental acuity from before the stroke and then after the stroke during the debate, and voters, of course, are seeing it too. Even though some of the media are trying their best to pretend it didn't happen. I'll get to that in a moment. But first, a local WPXI poll after the debate showed that 82% of respondents thought that Dr. Mehmet Oz won. And how many people do you have to talk to get 82% to agree on anything? All right, 82% believe Oz won, 18% thought Fetterman did. I'd like to meet those folks and look them in the eye. And voters explained why they thought this directly after the debate as well. Here's part of it. Listen.
So I was definitely, I'm an independent, by the way. I was definitely leaning towards Fetterman, and I think I have totally changed to the Oz side.
Why?
I felt that Fetterman just looked like he didn't have command of the facts. I do think his condition, unfortunately, is going to affect his ability to do the job. I thought Oz was pretty clear on the issues, and I thought he presented himself well and definitely threw out some plans where I didn't see any plans coming out of Fetterman.
Man, it just continued. Comment after comment, response after response. It didn't slow down. Listen to this one.
I got to tell you, it was very, very difficult to watch. John Fetterman clearly presented that he's not physically capable of serving in the U.S. Senate. I'm a registered independent, and generally these debates are not for the ideologues, right? They're for the people that are somewhere in the middle and really want to hear from the candidates. And I don't know how anybody in their right mind who are in the middle, like me, could possibly vote for John Fetterman. It was unbelievable. I feel sorry for him that his campaign and his family put him in that position. It was really, really difficult to watch.
And yes, any honest person can see the issues with electing John Fetterman to do anything, especially the United States Senate. But like I said earlier, that's not stopping some of the media from pretending. And that's what they're doing. They're pretending you didn't see what you just watched. It's kind of the media strategy in a nutshell right now. One opinion editor at the Philadelphia Inquirer newspaper wrote after the debate, quote, for all his years on TV, Oz came across as a fast-talking used car salesman. The second, Oz said that he would support the return of a twice-impeached former president who incited a deadly insurrection and tried to overturn a free and fair election. He disqualified himself from holding public office, and his score went to 0. Okay. Another editor rated Fetterman 7 out of 10 and wrote this. He had zingers, saying that Oz has never been an oil company that he doesn't swipe right on. Hearing Fetterman say that Roe v. Wade should be the law led me to audibly sigh in relief. Abortion should be a choice between a pregnant person and their doctor. Of course, you caught that, a pregnant person. You can see why she's going with Fetterman. She's already gone over the edge. And that is what you have to be to vote for John Fetterman at this point in Pennsylvania. Even far left-wing CNN was forced to report on it. quoting their medical analyst, Dr. Jonathan Reiner, this way: Fetterman's residual neurological injury is substantial, much greater than his campaign has led the public to believe. It's more than just processing hearing. It's incredibly sad to watch. But look, it's not just because Fetterman clearly has medical issues that disqualify him from office. His and the Democrats' policies just aren't resonating with the American people either. Because it may surprise Democrats to hear this, but most Americans don't want their country destroyed. Shocking, right? And that's why Democrats are losing badly throughout the nation, and the momentum is picking up. A new poll has Kari Lake up by 11 in Arizona as independents decide to commit to one side or the other. And clearly, independents not choosing Democrats. And that's why when Democrat operatives like this MSNBC columnist writes this, Dr. Oz just gave a master class on how to bully people with disabilities. It has zero effect on anyone but the most hardcore of the left-wing socialists. And that's why even older Democrat grifters like the master himself, Al Sharpton, knows this current grift isn't working. And they're warning their own party. Here's what Reverend Al had to say.
I think that what is being misread is that there is a misreading of wanting criminal justice reform and police reform and in wanting proper policing, and as crime spikes in some areas, even more policing. We just elected a black policeman, the mayor of New York, and he had overwhelming black support. So I think that, again, the latte liberals are talking to the guy that gives them the syrup in their latte and not talking to the people that they claim they speak for. You need to speak to them.
You know, look, he's not wrong. Though he was responsible for this push to defund the police as well, as loud and as reckless as anyone. And what do you get when you defund the police? Less police officers, of course. Like I said, voters aren't falling for the Democrats acting like they have no idea why things have gotten so bad. It's just not believable. It's not credible. It's about as believable as John Fetterman being mentally capable to be a United States senator. Because instead of actually focusing on the issues that matter to people like the economy, inflation, jobs, the border, and a possible nuclear war with Russia, the Democrats and President Joe Biden are talking about airline seats. That's right, airline seats, and how they are, wait for it, and how those airline seats are racist. Seriously, watch this.
Some airlines, if you want 6 more inches between you and the seat in front, you pay more money. But you don't know it until you purchase your ticket. Look, folks, these are junk fees. They're unfair, and they hit marginalized Americans the hardest, especially low-income folks and people of color. They benefit big corporations, not consumers.
First of all, how the hell would he know? He hasn't bought an airline ticket in 40 years or more. Come on. Now, look, I'm not thrilled with the airlines all the time either, but come on. Is that really the most pressing issue you should be highlighting before the midterms with, 12 days to go? And if you do care about things like crime or inflation, this is what America's elite think of you. Pay attention.
I'm not calling, I'm not going to say that, the GOP are Nazis at this point or whatever, but it certainly sounds very familiar to what happened in Germany, which is a bunch of citizens. Adolf Hitler gets a third of the vote. Nobody thought it could happen there. They kind of went along because they said he was going to solve the economy and fix inflation.
Yeah, that's right.
You can hear those sorts of things. And then, lo and behold, a few years later, they lost their democracy, and they're all like, how'd that happen here? That's my worry. That is my worry. If obviously the price of a hamburger, the price of milk, the price of gas is concerning. But that is a short-term problem. The loss of a democracy will decimate everyone's freedom.
When you have nothing to run on, when you have no credible argument, when you're desperate, that's what you resort to. Republicans are like Adolf Hitler. Really. That's embarrassing. No person that is intellectually honest would ever go with that. They just wouldn't. It's absurd, it's ridiculous, and it's been done so many times by the left, it's also trite. And it's not just Fetterman who shouldn't be in the government. It's all of these far-left socialist Democrats. They don't like you. Do you understand that? They don't like you. They think they're smarter than you. They're better than you. And they don't care about the things that you care about. How many times do they have to tell us exactly what they believe before we all listen and we all get it?